Assalamualaikum students, welcome to the English second year part E. As we are discussing unit 4 is about the poem The Spider and the Fly. We have discussed other topics. Today we are going to discuss narrative essay. And before going to discuss narrative essay, I want to remind you that in unit 2, when we were discussing the caliph and the gardener, there we discussed how to write an essay. It was a general, we can say, lecture about essay writing. But today we are going to discuss a particular essay writing, which is narrative essay. If we talk about narrative essay is a type of essay in which we can write about our life experience, life account, emphasizing some point or some idea. When writing narrative essay, one might think of it as telling a story. Now, this particular first sentence here, a question arises that what is the difference between essay and a narrative essay and a story? We will answer this question further in further slides. The main purpose of a narrative essay is to tell the reader about events, interactions, and experience that have happened to the author during the particular period of time. So we spend life, we come across different events, different experiences. So if you want to account those experiences into an essay, so it will be most possible that it will be narrative essay. In a narrative essay, you tell a story often about a personal experience, but you also make a point. So the purpose is not only to tell an entertaining tale, but also to explain the importance of the experience. So it is the experience, it is particular point you want to convey in the essay, which you also raise as a thesis statement in the introduction of your essay. In these particular slides, we are going to discuss what is the difference between narrative essay and short story, because sometimes you might, we can say, mix these two separate writing. As far as narrative essay is concerned, you will focus on telling a true story, usually something that happened in your past, so it relies on your own memory. So it is written in the first person. Like in narrative essay, if we tell a story, so it is real story, life story that happened with you. It is an experience, and most of the time we write it in a first person pronoun I. If you talk about short story, in short story you are more focusing on the events, on the plot, how to make a plot construction, where you discuss the introduction, rising action, climax, filing action, and denouement or conclusion. You create fictional characters and a plot. I discussed the plot also. Characters are important in a story. There in a single story you could write many, you could present many characters who are involved in the story. But in the narrative essay, there might be only you, there might be your friend, but the number of the, we can say, characters differ from story and essay. Creating characters and events that suit the story, it can be written in the first person or third person. Most of the time short stories are written in third person. It can also be written in first person, but as far as narrative essay is concerned, so people prefer to use first person pronoun. There is another difference that authors are concerned primarily with expressing ideas and experience in essays. You want to convey any idea, you want to convey an experience. On the other hand, in short stories, authors are concerned primarily with the characters and plot. Most often, writers in essay write expository mode, not narrative, we can say, style of writing. But in short story, you are mainly writing a narrative. In an essay it seldom contains plots. If they do, these plots are of secondary importance. Like if you have plot in essay, so it is not the primary thing you want to discuss. The primary thing is your idea or your experience. You use plot to convey those experience, but in the story your main focus is plot and characters. They are central. In a narrative essay, usually written to inform, argue, persuade. These might be your purpose. You want to inform about an experience. You want to argue something. You want to persuade someone that they could change their mind about particular event. They may entertain. These are purposes in essay, narrative essay. While in a story, although they can have serious themes, short stories are written above all to create a simple, unified emotional impact on us. They should entertain. Another difference is that most narrative essays, are often factual. There are facts, real life facts. But but short stories, they are fictional. They are totally fictional. They are imaginary. You use your mind to build any story which has not happened in your life. So if we talk about conventions of narrative essay, that how it is written, particular ways of writing narrative essay. So narratives are generally written in the first person, that is using I. However, third person, he, she, or it can also be used. So this is part of the narrative essay. Like if we talk about point of view, so there can be first person point of view, second person point of view, third person point of view. So what we write in narrative essay, we prefer first person point of view. First person point of view is the use of I and we, so we prefer these two. Narratives as stories should include those story conventions, plot, including setting and characters, climax. You can write, we can say these climax, characters, but they have a secondary importance in your narrative essay. Narratives rely on concrete sensory details to convey their point. Like in narrative, you are also dealing with the sensory part of the readers to convey your thought, feelings, emotions. These can be the elements of a narrative essay where character, theme, and dialogue. Characters that can be flat, that can be round. Flat characters are those characters uh, whose personality does not change from beginning to the end. If they are good in the beginning, they remain good at the end of the essay or a story. On the other hand, round characters are those characters whose personality got change from beginning till end. If they are good, they might become bad. If they are bad, they might become good. If you talk about theme, so it is also an element. You have a theme, you have a purpose, you have an idea to write an essay. Dialogue, sometimes dialogues can also play a role to lead your essay further. It is a conversation between two or more characters. There are also some guidelines for writing a narrative essay. If written as a story, the essay should include all the parts of a story. अगर आप मतलब नैरेटिव ऐसे कोई इस अंदाज से लिखना चाहते हैं कि वो उसमें कोई स्टोरी है, तो आप कोशिश करें कि स्टोरी के जो एलिमेंट्स होते हैं उसको यूज़ करें, ताकि आपके नैरेटिव ऐसे अच्छे अंदाज से आप उसे लिख सकें. The essay should have a purpose. You should have any purpose, idea, something you want to convey. The essay should be written from a clear point of view. A clear point of view means if you are writing in a first person point of view, so there is I, we, so you should use it clearly. Use clear and concise language throughout the essay. Essay should also have cohesion and coherence, which is the connection between among ideas and the sentences. If you connect one sentence with another sentence, so that you facilitate the readers to understand them easily, or and also they will be connected. Then they will not lose their interest while reading your essay. The use of first person pronoun is welcomed. Most of the time I have discussed this, that narrative essays are discussed in first person pronoun. Be organized. Organized means that there is a connection between your ideas. You have proper introduction, proper body of the essay, proper conclusion, as we have discussed it already. So here we end the lecture. Thank you so much for listening.